Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's forum of the topic of what learning theories can support the assumption that online learning is beneficial to learners. I'm Malini, your moderator for this discussion. We have a diverse range of perspectives and expertise here today, so I'm eager to delve into this important subject. Before we dive into our discussion, let's take a moment to set the stage. Online learning has become increasingly prevalent in recent years, especially with the advancement of technology and the global shift towards digital education. However, there are ongoing debates about its efficacy and its alignment with establishment learning theories. Online learning encompasses a wide range of formats, from fully online courses to hybrid models that combine online and in-person instruction. Proponents argue that online learning offers flexibility, accessibility, and personalized learning experiences. However, critics raise concerns about issues such as learner isolation, the quality of online interactions, and the potential for distraction. Today, we aim to explore these issues through the lens of learning theories by examining how various theoretical frameworks conceptualize the learning process. We can better understand the potential benefits and challenges of online learning. So let's embark on this journey together with an open mind and a willingness to learn from one another. Now, let's introduce our esteemed panelists, each bringing their unique perspectives to the discussion. Firstly, let me introduce Ms. Vijaya, representing the role of teacher.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Followed by Mr. Thayalen, the lecturer at a teacher training institution. Sorry.
Hi, everyone.
And Ms. Fatin, lecturer at a university. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to our panelists and participants. Let's proceed with our exploration of the intersection between learning theories and online education. As our discussion progresses, I periodically recap the key points raised and highlight any emerging themes or areas of contention. This will help us stay focused and ensure that we explore the topic comprehensively. So let's begin. Hi, Ms. Fatin. So how does social learning theory can support the assumption that online learning?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Malini, for asking me. So, social learning theory emphasizes the value of the social contact and observation in the learning process, which contributes to the notion that online learning is advantageous. Thus, observed learning is the one way that social learning theories might assist the online learning. So people pick up the knowledge from the watching others, then claim the social learning theories. As far as we are aware that online learning environment include teachers or lecturer recording, tutorial videos, and online discussion forum. Thus, all of this will force the student to observe naturally and provide them to chance to pick up the knowledge from the professional or experience from other people.
Interesting, Ms. Fatin. So the next question is, how does social learning theory impact instructional strategies, practices in learning session?
Okay, for the instructional tactic and procedure used in learning session are greatly influenced by social learning theories. So collaboration is one teaching strategy that is influenced by the social learning theories. The importance of the interpersonal communication and teamwork in the learning process is emphasized by the social learning theories. So the instructional tactic frequently include the opportunity for the student to work in the group on the project or have a discussion to solve the problem. Thus, through the collaborating with the peers, so student can impart the knowledge, discuss the ideas, and most importantly, learn from many viewpoints, which will deepen of their understanding. So, thus, the educator can establish a learning environment that is consistent with the social learning by adding this component into their instructional practice.
All right, nice. That's interesting. And I'm moving on to the last question, Ms. Fatin. How can collaborative problem-solving activities be structured to engage students effectively?
Okay, for uh, establishing the objective and role is the one way to organize the group problem-solving activity efficiently and keep the student interested. So, student will be able to stay focused and actively participate in the activities if the problem-solving goals and the objective are communicated to them in clear manner. So, the second step is to attempt the place the problem-solving exercise in the real-world setting. So it will encourage them to look for the solution by enabling them to observe how the issue is applied in real life. So to solve the problem that pertain to their interests or experiences, we could, for instance, offer a scenario that emulate the real life challenge. Then we can provide them with the helpful feedback, express the gratitude for them for their work, and offer suggestion for enhancement. Be there, we as an educator be there to assist anyone who might have who might be having trouble or require the clarification. So this assistant improve their learning opportunities and we can motivate the student to keep trying to solve the problems.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Fatin, for your for your fruitful insight. Moving on to our next panelist, Mr. Thayalen. Why is it important for educators to study or understand learning theories?
Thank you for the question, moderator. Okay, these learning theories, they provide actionable insight into how learning takes places. Here, I'm going to share a few of the ways that educators and their students can benefit when education's brought in education's learning, theories brought into the classroom or curriculum. First one is that theory learnings can provide clarity and directions, okay, uh, by offering a set of principle or guidelines to build teaching approaches. Okay, knowing more learning theories, the more strategies that educators can be used in developing connections uh, with a diverse range of students who come from different backgrounds, different learning pace, and different academic challenges. Okay, the third one is that learning theories facilitate clear communications between teachers and students. Okay, as learning, the fourth one, as learning outcomes improve, students will also build confidence and self-esteem.
Thank you, Mr. Thayalen. I'm moving on to the second question. So in your opinion, which learning theories will be the most suitable for educators to be applied in online learning?
Okay, I would say that there's no such thing as a good or a bad learning theory. They are just a good, different from one to another. Okay, here I'm going to share three different learning theories and how educators can benefit from knowing them in applying in online learning. Okay, the first one is behaviorism. The behaviorism learning theory, it's from B.F. Skinner's theory that he suggests that the students learn behaviors through external force, such as repeated actions, rewards, and punishment, which will shape the learning. Okay, in a traditional classroom setting, a teacher might use a positive reinforcement by awarding a gold star, for example, to the students who actively participating in the classroom. Uh, this might encourage other students to participate in the lessons to be rewarded with a positive feedback or rewards. Okay, feedback is one of the good example of the behaviorist learning theory, as it reinforce desirable behavior and work to eliminate a negative behavior. Okay, by breaking online lessons into smaller lessons, there will be a room for educator to test knowledge or to offer feedbacks and monitor the progress of the learning students. Okay, the second one is connectivism. This connectivity learning theory focus on the thought. It is based on the ideas of a psychologist, Jean Piaget, which he called as a scheme, where it's explained the way we organize the information and technology. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy is a framework that classifies different level of connective that rank according to their cognitive difficulties. Okay, game-based learning, it could be an example, for example, Bluecard or EduGain, that offer features to create lessons in the various difficulty levels, which promotes a great way to the learners to think creatively, which enables them to learn throughout the lessons. Okay, the third one is constructive, is idea of Len Ventosky's theory, who believe that knowledge is constructed. Okay, is a learning that is a collaborations between the students and the learners, where they interact with someone that has a more knowledge than learners. Okay, even though many online learning provides self-paced learning, but still learners need plenty of information with others through the social learning and also knowledge sharing. Okay, here in a teacher training institute, we are aimed to produce teachers with a great knowledge in online instructional practices in addition to the teaching the subject matter so that we could improve students to become better online learners and to be engaged in the online lessons.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you
Monica.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for a very interesting sharing and a very detailed explanation. Now we're moving on. So we're going to be continuing our discussion. So Miss Vijaya, a teacher who has been teaching English for secondary school students at SMK School in Damansara. Thank you for joining with us today, Miss Vijaya. So
Hi.
can you share? Hi. So how can you share how your online learning teaching experience was during the pandemic?
Okay. First of all, good day for everyone. Thank you, moderator, for the introduction. So, pandemic was a tough time for everyone, I would say, especially for teachers and students, because we are more used to have physical classes, and suddenly the transition from physical classes to online classes was very challenging. Online teaching had has both pros and cons. So I had difficulties, especially in the assessment and evaluation part, because it was quite difficult to evaluate a student's work through a technology, and at the same time you need to grade them correctly. So as a teacher, I worked hard to create a lively teaching environment so that it would not be more stressful or boring to my students. And I do agree that online teaching has increased my interaction with my students and parents on an individual basis. It has made teaching more interactive. For example, I usually do a follow up of my students' individual work is done on WhatsApp group, So I strive hard to do my best for my learners to ensure that they learn something on that day and have fun while learning.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. We are moving on to the second question. So, how does constructivism theory support the assumption that online learning is beneficial to learners?
Online learning can offer many opportunities for applying constructive theory, as it can provide learners with various resources, tools, and a platform to access or to create something, and of course, to share information and knowledge. So basically, constructivism learning environments allow learners to build their own meaning and understanding from learning resources and circumstances. So, constructivism claims that learners accumulate new knowledge by themselves and use this to combine with their previous knowledge or experience. So, based on this theory, the online instructor is a facilitator to monitor and to provide a positive and motivating online learning environment, and a tutor to provide the supporting skills and knowledge to each individual in your classroom. But online learning can also pose some challenges for applying this theory. For example, students maybe can feel the lack of physical presence and the potential for isolation, and maybe they need self-regulations. So therefore, it is important for every teachers when it's come online learning activities. They need to be carefully designed and they need to be support to foster constructivism learning.
All right, interesting. And we're moving on to the third question. So, Miss Vijaya, as a teacher, how do you apply constructivism theory in online learning?
In online learning, constructivism theory can be applied by designing learning experiences that promotes active engagement, reflection, and collaboration. For example, you can conduct an online simulation or a case study. From this, students will be able to explore complex problems and they can also develop their critical thinking skill. However, before you create any online learning activity, teachers need to have a clear idea or a clear vision of what they want their students to achieve and how they're going to measure their achievement. Okay, so your online learning activities should be aligned with your learning outcomes. Meaning that they should help your students develop the knowledge, skills, of course, and attitudes that you have defined. For example, if your online learning outcome is to analyze a case study, maybe you can ask your students to form a group and then ask them to, identify the main issues, and then later they can present their findings in the classroom. Okay, so yeah, these are the few tips from me on how you can apply the theory in online learning, and that's all from me. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Vijay. It was very interesting and thank you a lot for your sharing. So before we conclude, I want to express my gratitude to all participants for your valuable contribution today. Our discussion has shed light on the complex relationship between learning theories and online education. And I hope it has provided insights that will inform our future endeavors in this field. Remember that this discussion doesn't have to end here. Feel free to continue exploring these ideas beyond this forum. Thank you once again, and I look forward to our paths crossing again in future discussion. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.